Good evening, everybody. How are you doing tonight? It's your boy DC, and this is Out of the Fog. We're a local matters bop that goes right across the province, and we got an all-star cast hanging out on the couch tonight. First up, we have Katherine Peddle from the Oral Health Center, Mobile Smiles, talking about accessibility out on the road and right in her own clinic to help people across the province access the oral health care that they deserve. Loving it. And then, of course, we got Jody, we got Lincoln, and we got Austin coming through. Jody's doing something really cool. What do you call it? Productions. It's all about engaging youth in community theater and a production upcoming, and we're going to tell you all about it. And then finally, Ceara Collins is coming through, and she is the beauty boss, entrepreneur extraordinaire. How does she do it all? How does she balance it all? We're going to hear all about her historic salon in our city of legends. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and like I told you before the break, we got some cool topics going down on the couch tonight. And the first I'm very excited to talk about, which is accessibility, and I'm very down with anyone who ever wants to come on the show and talk about what they're doing to make things more accessible to folks in the province and beyond. And Katherine got a story to tell. What's up?
Hi, thanks for inviting me.
I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah.
We were back and forth leading into today, so I'm so glad you're finally on the couch, because to hear about what you're doing based on the industry you're in is, I think, something that the folks need to hear more about, because it's pretty inspiring to me. But first, I'll ask you, what led you into the field of work that you do?
Well, I wanted to do something different. I come from a small town, and I wanted to do something different than everyone else that kind of was working in that area. And I didn't know anyone in the dental field. And I thought, I want to try that. Let's go try that. So that's what I did.
But I got to pull you over. Try that.
Yeah.
To go into your field of study is no overnight, 1 year, see you there.
No.
It's a long game
It
dedication to a healthcare initiative. I mean, really. So, like, you know, whenever I meet someone who's in the field of work that you're in, I always say, wow, because it's no short shake to get qualified to do what you do.
No, and I was a dental assistant for 10 years, and then it kind of evolved into becoming a dental hygienist. And after I'd worked as a dental hygienist for a few years, I started to expand on what I did. So in 2013, we became self-regulated, which meant we could work independently. And then I decided to, I went to a conference in Ontario, and I saw this trade show that was showing mobile equipment for dental units. And I thought, well, that's kind of neat. Like, I don't know anyone that does that. Let's give that a try. So I purchased the equipment and came back to Newfoundland and started to do seniors in seniors' homes. And I had one patient a month. You know, I was like a side hustle that I did. Yeah. And then I realized through that the demand for services outside of the traditional clinic, because people had trouble accessing care. And then, of course, COVID came and nobody could go anywhere. And then it really started to, you know, catch on. People wanted to get services in their home and in long-term care, and it just opened my eyes to the gap that there was in people that couldn't access traditional clinics.
And it's interesting, right? Because the idea is so novel, and the opportunity for folks to have a service come to them in this regard is so interesting. And of course, the whole COVID era of life just must have really taken what was already starting to happen for you and really mainstay it.
Yeah.
Because things have changed since then in terms of the desire to have things drop to your door or people show up at your door.
Yeah. When I first started, people were like, what are you going to do that? Why would they do that? And then when COVID came, they're like, that's a great idea.
Yeah, we need more of that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, I have to ask you, you know, sometimes hard times lead to the best times. And so that turn of events that we all went through, must have led you to regulate what you do for a bunch of folks that have been allowing you to come back ever since, I'm sure.
Yeah, so it kind of opened my eyes to who needed the care. And then through that, I realized that it wasn't just seniors who needed access to care. There were a whole bunch of other people as well.
Exactly.
And so then that introduced me to persons with disabilities and how they had barriers to accessing oral health care just because of accessibility of the clinics that are currently there. So the demand for having accessible spaces and realizing through my mobile equipment, trying to get that equipment into people's houses or even into our government buildings like hospitals or long-term care facilities, even though you think those places are accessible, when you actually try to get in there, it's not. So then that drove me to start a building that is completely accessible for people to access regardless of what your disability is, because there's all kinds. It's not just wheelchair users, there's people with walkers, or there's blind or hearing impaired, or there's all kinds of things that can create barriers for you to access care. And access to oral health care is a human right. Everybody should be able to access that. So designing a space where people could, receive the care independently, not have to rely on someone else to get them there.
There's so much to be unpacked in the journey of starting with one demographic, realizing what an opportunity there was to help out so many more people, and realizing an unfortunate reality that so many of us in the province suffer quietly through, which is the lack of accessibility to solutions we need, especially under the umbrella of healthcare,
yes.
which to me is, like, to your point, a human right.
Right.
And so what are the types of feedback that you've been getting from your clients and, from the team who also see those folks based on the growth you've had and the ability to make oral health care more accessible to the folks who come to your clinic?
Well, the clients are so grateful. And the thing that I've learned is persons with disabilities have so much resilience, and their gratitude for things is, so grateful for the service being available to them. And so that makes me feel really awesome about what we're giving back. Because, oral health is a thing that my skill, but making it accessible is what allows people to receive that treatment, and that feels really great. And it's good to be able to inspire other professionals to do the same. Last year, actually, we received an award from Empower NL for making our business accessible and allowing people to independently be able to access the care. So we're really proud of that.
You should be. And it's such an opportunity to feel seen by your industry and by the people across the province, to know that there are people who are actually investing their money to make it easier for folks to come and get the services they need.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Thank you.
Of course. And I really do hope people watching this show will say to themselves, oh my gosh, maybe I need to be leaning heavier into the accessibility conversation.
Yes.
And I can tell you in marketing, communications, and technology, which is my industry, making sure that every product and piece and digital thing that we create is accessible to all audiences. So I value the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
So, listen, no one gets anywhere alone, and we're in 1 minute left of our little hang here. So anyone that you want to thank for allowing what you do to go down so well every day?
Yeah, well, first of all, Jillian Reed is my administrative director. She is the person who does all the work outside of the skill work that I do. And, just family, the support, all of the things that I do, my husband and children, are kind of along for the ride, whether they want to be or not. So, and there's been lots of business advisors that have helped me, because I'm really great at oral health, but this is a new venture of figuring out business.
Right.
And
That's a thing.
so it's a journey of learning, but I'm really enjoying it and really making it accessible. The one thing that I do want people to understand is our goal is to be inclusive, which means that everybody is included. And when able-bodied people support things like this, then that makes it continue on for people who need it the most. So a lot of times when we talk about being accessible, they're like, oh, that's only for people with disabilities. But really, inclusion means everybody is involved, and then the more that we support those things, then the more they're available for the people that need it the most.
Girl, just stick around and keep telling us the tea, you know? Listen, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Mobile
thank you.
Smiles, how can we find you online in this final sec?
You can find our website. It's www.oralhealthcenter.nl. Our Mobile Smiles is the other component of what we do. Or you can just call us. We're at 691-7261. Yeah, you'll get Jillian.
I love it, exactly. And will you come back and hang out with us again and talk about the amazing things? I got a feeling you're going to keep on building and growing and doing and diversifying and including, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to come back.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Guys, this is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back after this break. Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and like I told you, we got so many cool cats hanging out on the couch tonight. And I was just recanting some tales of youth when I tried my hand at some stage performance, and I learned a lot of lessons, and it's no joke. So I'm going to welcome some friends here. Jody, what are you at, first of all?
This is it.
What do you call it?
I'm here to promote What Do You Call It and my youth theater adventures.
And who you got hanging out on the couch? Introduce your friends.
I've got Lincoln Byrne. He's one of the actors in my show, and Austin Dietz, who is another actor in my show.
Wicked. Well, I'm so glad you guys are hanging out here tonight. I'll try to make it painless, try to keep your attention, you know. But first I'm going to ask you, Jody, where did the idea for starting your own theater company come from?
So in 2017, I got my first replacement job at Waterford Valley High School, and it was in theater and drama. Now, I spent most of my days on stage with like Shakespeare by the Sea and like other production companies. I never really thought about this directing thing.
Right.
But then I had students who were involved in like the drama festival and stuff like that. They were coming to me and saying like they had so much fun and how to get involved in community theater.
Right.
And like I would go out and audition for things, and I know that like, you know, it's all who they're looking for. But I know that sometimes people don't really want to take that risk on young people. Are they going to put in the effort? Are they going to, you know, memorize their lines, show up for the rehearsals? I said, you know what, I do this every day. This is my job now.
And you know they're out there.
Yeah, I have to take the chance. So I said, why not? I said, you know, I spent my days on stage. Why not take a step back, see if I can actually do this? So it was a learning experience for me as much as it was for, you know, the students.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I booked the Barbara Barrett Theater. That's at the Arts and Culture Center. Sure. I borrowed 4 theater cubes from Second Light Productions, who I had worked with in the past, and a few students from Waterford Valley, which I was teaching at, and PwC, which I was Prince Wales Collegiate, which I was a substitute at. So I brought the 2
in
groups.
the favors, getting it all on the go.
Right?
Yeah.
So I brought in 6 students from there. And did a show. I was like, if I'm out money, but at least I tried.
How many shows have you done?
The one coming up on December 11th is going to be show number 6.
That's amazing.
Yep.
And let's remind the viewers at home, putting together a show is no like, let's throw it together on a Saturday, bop it out on Monday. Like a lot of work and time goes in, from casting to the writing, collaboration, the set, the venue, selling the show. I mean, I'm not trying to bore you with it all, you know.
Yeah. So all those things you mentioned, but also because I'm working with youth, I know like a lot of the community theater companies, they do like maybe like a month and a half to 2 month rehearsal period. I usually try and do a 3-month rehearsal period, just because there's a lot more teaching that goes on, more so than just like, oh, let's go in and do the blocking and remember the lines.
Exactly, because that's what's going on above the waterline.
Yes.
It's everything happening below, right?
Yeah.
So listen, 2 questions. Lincoln, I mean, you know, your journey into performance that we were talking about before the hang, what are the gifts from being able to be a part of productions that really help you hone your talent and your craft? How does that feel?
Well, when I joined drama first in grade 11, I remember the idea going through my head was like, maybe this would kind of make me so like more extroverted, I suppose. I wasn't very talkative, I suppose, in grade 10. And it's worked exactly like that. I did the drama play in grade 11, The Queen of Pop, and since then it's just, I just have a bit of a talent for it.
Yeah, exactly. So cool. And you're talking about confidence and confidence building, and I totally see how putting yourself in that position to be out on that stage, you know, playing that part, it does give you that in a way that you might not have gotten it otherwise. A very unique experience. Austin, what are you at? I see you down there just waiting for your moment. I see what's going on down there. Listen, I bet a lot of people are really proud of you that you got the courage to get up on stage and to make them all say, wow, he is amazing. How does that feel when you're up there, buddy?
It feels really good. It definitely took a lot of courage to like get me into it. But then I realized, oh, it's not like I'm gonna like, I don't know, like be
frozen or too nervous. Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, I think you're a big star there, pal. Who's calling you a star? I mean, you know, has it gone to your head yet? That's the question, right? Well, I can't wait to go see you guys. So you excited about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
There's a lot to learn, a lot to do, right? So we can't wait. So now I'm going to ask you, Lincoln, man, you know, when it comes to the show upcoming and all the work that goes into it, what are you most excited about?
It's a battle between probably the comedy and the costumes. I think this one's got a lot of fun costumes to see where you got really creative, especially with the props.
Cool.
But the comedy too, there's tons of fun comedy, fun references I hope the audience will find very funny when they come to see it.
Cool. I love it. So Jody, listen, I got to tell you, you know, what do you call it Productions? Where'd that name come from?
So I'm actually from Central, so you know, smack dab in the middle of the bay.
Oh yeah, baby.
So I wanted something that tied to its Newfoundland roots, but also I chose why do you call it, because it's a question. And so for me, I'm teaching students how to do theater.
Sure.
So they have questions, and they're coming to me with those questions, and so that's the reason why I chose the name.
Listen, I think you're doing something really good. And I think that inviting youth into the space where they can hone their skill and craft and gain confidence and learn something new and wow a crowd and make everyone stand up and go, bravo! I mean, that's the energy. So before we throw, how can folks get at you and learn all about the upcoming production and how they can get tickets?
So they can get tickets at the Arts and Culture Center website.
Cool.
Or by visiting the box office. The show is December 11th to the 14th. We have 5 shows. And we don't really have a website, but there's plenty of social media. We've got the Facebook, the TikTok,
you know,
the Instagram.
the old Facebook event page is on the go.
And of course, working with people this age, we have to have the TikTok.
Of course. Yeah. It's true. It's true. So thank you so much, guys. Will you come back again and talk about the next production that you get on the go in the new year?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Would love it. All right, all right. Listen, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
It is so amazing when I see ideas come from nothing more than the desire to help people, and that's what you're doing, so keep up the good work. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back, guys, after this break. Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and I am so excited when homies hang on the couch, and the one and only badass Biz Boss is hanging out with me here tonight, and I'm so pumped just to hang out and let all the folks know. Ceara, what's up?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yes, thanks.
So, you know, I'm going to ask you, the beauty industry, I mean, it has become so glamorized and social media-ified, and it's amazing, I'm sure, for you, but I want to ask you, for the folks, by the way, before I jump into the questions, the owner of Sound Salon and Spa on Water Street, incredible location. It's where I get my things done, and I'm going to ask you, what led you into the industry in the first place?
I always had a knack for hair, makeup since I've been small.
Yeah.
I definitely wasn't one of those that I was doing everyone's hair, nothing like that, but I always just was interested in the industry.
Interesting.
I was going to Cone at the time, and I remember I was stopped at a light, and I was like, I don't even remember what I was doing, and I was like, am I gonna wake up every day and be happy doing this? And I was like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, I'm gonna go into an industry where I can really thrive. So I knew if I wanted to do that, I wanted to do it the best way possible, so I went away to school. I went away with the intention of always owning my own salon.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so even when I was in school, like I really honed in on that chapter. And when I came back here, Sam was the only Whadda salon that was on the island, still is. And so yeah, so I started, I was 9 months pregnant at the time.
You were?
Yep, so Tim hired me 9 months pregnant. Well, 8 months, so I worked for a few months and then I went off. Had my baby, came back. I think I had him drove with just questions about the business. Like everything that I could ask, I just soaked everything up. He was an excellent mentor.
Oh, amazing.
Then he went on and started a tech company, which we use today. And he was looking to sell the business, and it ended up being the right time for me to take over. So there was a lot of challenges that came with that. You know, we had a lot of senior staff there, and I had came in and I was still, you know, brand new, just a few years there. Sure. So I sort of had to win them over, and I have to say, like, they're still with me today, which is amazing. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so we've created, like, just a wonderful team.
That's so cool. And it's funny, you know, there's a few buzzwords being thrown around here. Whadda. Tell the viewers a little bit more about that.
So Whadda is naturally derived. It's all made by wind power, solar power. All of their packaging is recyclable.
What?
They were sort of they were like the trailblazers on the whole.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so, next question, clarifying questions. Tim, Howard, you come into the business and you are wanting to know everything about the business. Because let's clarify that, you know, in the salon industry, yes, there's the doing of hair and there's the being the stylist, you know.
Yeah.
But you wanted to know about the business. I see, I love that so much, right? Because it's unexpected. Because if you're artistic in nature, often the paradigms of business are intimidating. What do you think about that?
So I definitely didn't realize how creative I was until I went away to do hair either. So it turns out I'm actually pretty good at that too. But I am always, just striving. Like, I love knowing how things work. So he always said, like, he was like, I never had anyone to ask me questions like you did. And he was like, if anyone was to take over the business, he was like, I knew it was going to be you.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I gotta be now zooming in on the conversation around being, you know, in the latter stages of your pregnancy and then taking that on. I mean, that someone described you as fearless to me. And getting to know you like I have, you are that. Because let's also remember, folks, in case you don't know, we're talking about wife and mother of 3 kids, owning your own powerhouse business with a full staff in the heart of downtown, making it happen. I also catch you at the airport where you're being flown all over to educate other stylists at other salons and help onboard them into what you do so well at yours. I mean, ultimately, we're so busy in our lives, we don't see ourselves the way others do. I have to ask you, are you proud of what you're doing every day under the umbrella of so many things you got going on?
I am, and I think now, the older that I get, I truly believe another year older, another year wiser. Yeah. I'm starting to sort of slow down and just appreciate the things that I've done. Because type A, I'm like, what else can I do? What else can I do? I feel like I'm not doing enough. So yes, I've definitely started to slow down and just, really appreciate the things that I've accomplished.
That's awesome. And the best is yet to come, I hear.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, I know so. Let's talk about the holiday rush. It's upon us.
Yes.
And so I bet the salon is bumping. Tell me all about it.
The salon in December is crazy. We actually had a really busy fall, which is kind of unheard of in the industry. It slows down a little bit, but this fall we were full on.
Love it. That's great.
Yeah.
And now, you know, I want the folks to understand, if you walk into Sound Spa, salon, you know, there's so many different things you can take advantage of. It's more than just getting your hair did. Tell me all about it.
So upstairs we have 8 stylists, and when you go downstairs, we have a full service spa.
Wow.
So we have 3 spa rooms, and we do facials, massage, manicures, pedicures.
That's killer. Yeah. And so, you know, it wouldn't be me if I didn't tell the viewers at home that you could probably say Whadda to some gift certificates, etc. This must be a busy time of year for that too, hey?
Very busy, yeah.
And I bet like right towards the bitter end of you shutting the door on Tibbs Eve, the dudes are flowing in.
Oh, the 23rd. That's the one day that you'll get them all.
Oh yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right? That's hilarious. So I'm gonna ask you now, like looking into the crystal ball of the new year and everything that you do as a stylist, because yes, you're killing it in the biz, but you also still have your clients and you're still working your craft every day, am I right?
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, what's hot?
We're seeing a lot of bobs, a lot of like 90s vintage bobs, a lot of gray blending, but we are seeing color come back. So COVID brought on the trend of gray. Everyone wanted to grow out their gray hair, but we're starting to realize now, like people are starting to feel a little bit aged from that. So they're coming in, they're like, I want a little pick-me-up. So yeah, we're starting to move more towards a little bit more color. Beachy, lived-in hair, like undone hair has always been a trend, and Newfoundland has always been the trailblazers for that as well.
Interesting. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Ceara, you know, just 1 minute left and we'll talk about how folks can find you and meet your stylists and all the things. Like, look back at that girl who started working at Sound 8 months in. Did you ever dream that you'd be where you are now?
That's a good question. Yeah, it looked a little bit different, but like I always knew that this is where I would be.
That's sick. I love it.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that for a second that you knew that from the drop. And I had a feeling that when I asked you that, you would say exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, pretty much.
But if you ask me 10 years in the future, I haven't figured that part out yet. But
Oh, yeah?
no, we're working.
Well-
that's the next chapter.
Well, will you come on to talk about that when the
Yeah,
time comes?
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So glad to always expose entrepreneurs who are kicking ass, making it happen, coming for the crumbs, and you are one of those. So I'm so thankful that you came onto the show tonight.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Guys, this is Out of the Fog. I'll be back to wrap right after this.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on Out of the Fog this evening. Thank you so much to Jody. Thank you to Lincoln and Austin. Thank you to Ceara. And of course, I want to give a big old thanks to Katherine. It was like meeting an old friend here now on the couch tonight. So guys, listen, thank you so much. We'll see you in 2025.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
For me, it all started here.
I do my best work here.
Scores! Oh my goodness!
This guy's dangerous from here, here, and here.
We're watching history in the making here.
Are you watching this?
And our fans are up here.
I'm here for it. It's all about what's up here and what's in here. Sportsnet, here for hockey.
Long way from Nashville and Mama, I tell you that. Performed from Montreal to Boston to Los Angeles. But Toronto, that's my chosen home. Sure, when I'm walking down Yonge Street, I see some funny people who have the nerve to point the finger at me. And grin and smile and whisper. My song was #2 on local radio. Sold 10,000 in Toronto alone. Turned down Ed Sullivan because they asked me to remove my makeup. Wouldn't do American Bandstand because of their segregation policies. I was just being me. Never tried to explain myself to anyone. And besides, none of that to worry, Jackie, because I know I look good. Got a new way of loving, baby. Thought I want to teach it to you.
Jackie Shane was a pioneer transgender soul singer, a central figure in the Toronto R&B scene. She helped shape what we know as the Toronto sound.